Oh wow, I'm 25 seconds in the whole thing. All right. I did not know it was this long. Okay, cool. I guess you guys won't even watch this video. Anyway, if you guys do, go continue. You only need to look at my screen. It's very laggy, very behind. Okay, so I have to address this topic because I've already knew what's gonna be like. I made a couple of videos when Trump got elected, mentioned about how US is bringing back the jobs. US already lost the job war already because even if you bring back the manufacturers and everything, it's not going to be efficient, effective, and as what it can keep on demands of the global or perhaps the now on I predicted that with many of these people have been unemployed or lost their houses during the global financial crisis, or perhaps getting laid off, where this film mentioned about the General Motors and they couldn't find a stable job, and there's always been unemployed or living on the streets or things like that, and having this sort of lifestyle, and now out of the sudden, now you have money on your bank account and working and having repetitive movement or training at the same time, which they haven't had for a very long time. This film shouldn't be. It's very unfair to portray the film as completely where Americans are like lazy in comparison to Asia. There's obviously the Western and the Eastern work ethics are very different. What the film has didn't address is the fact that when they portrayed the China side, how successful Fei Yao and where the Americans selected members entered to go to China to have to see what's it like in China. They failed to mention what was their lifestyle. You could see there's weddings going on, wedding ceremony. If you see in this clip, and it draws a huge question mark to many Western viewers. And I have to let you guys know about it because that scene there, as a Chinese person, or you guys, if you watch any other YouTube channels that talks about how the factories are in China, is like a dorm. Americans workers on the films, they have a life once they step out of outside the house. They got bills to pay, they got like they got a family to feed on or rely on. But the film is very cherry picking those who are just those who are living single, and very cherry picking. But in the China side, what they're trying to uh, you know, um, what they fail to mention is that yes, there's 200 workers, Chinese workers, who volunteer or migrated to America to establish or build this America um, Fei Yao um, factory to be running efficient, successful as the one in China. Obviously, there's a huge comparison, huge different work ethics. Where China you can control everything, where America you can't. Workers has a lot of rights. As the film has mentioned, that the owner will shut down the business if union steps in, and creates a lot more safety regulation standards and things like that. Now, I'm not going to say disagree with anything what's been happened. It just means that look, I've established this company and I have to use the China way, or I'm not going to use the American civilized with the Union way. Now, the film has been portrayed how many of those who has lost their job due to poor performance or lost their job due to after work cover. Now, you go through that and things like that. Now, what the film has failed to mention that I'm pretty sure many of you guys are thinking, "Oh, look how great in China when they went to China, and you get to see how militant, how obedient, how efficient, how effective, and everything like that." And they talk, and they have the American guy speaking Chinese about how lazy we are, this and that. There's two different type of work ethics, and what. First off, you see the body mass of a Chinese person comparison to a Western person. Even myself, I'm Chinese. I'm considered a beast in Australia. But damn, man, if I went to China, I'm like super beast. So that's the way how it is. Anywho, let's focus on the topic. Okay. So the dorm. I don't know why my YouTube is the live is not going up, but doesn't matter. I don't mind for you guys. They mentioned about the dorm, like the way how they put the marriage and everyone's militant, things like that. Those many of them have actually failed to let you guys know that when they stated that in a month, 2 days off in a month, where Americans they have more than 8 days, 3 days in a month, which is Americans believe in or the Western world believe in 888 or 35 or 36 hours a week, right? Chinese they don't believe in that sort of hour range. So what they do in China is they create their own way. They build a huge apartment facility and canteen and things like that to for them to it's pretty much is like saying um, agriculture transition to industrial revolution. So what they did is pretty much if you're so pretty much you move from your family and your family looks after the child, which is your extended family, and you work in this or whatever manufactured job, or including Faya and I, iPhone, Apple, products, and they work there, they sleep there, they eat there, they have entertainment there, and everything. What they have is in within the dorm. And when you have that, the funny thing about having that is the fact that it controls centralize everything. So basically what you do is as a worker, you just send back money, um, but on your phone, just every week or every month to extend the family to look after the child. So it's like a peace of mind, just money exchange. And it's always been that huge culture like that in China, grandparents, looking after the child, extended family looking after the child, the mother and father goes out for work their ass off, and probably comes. The film has slightly hinted they're only allowed to go back to their home during springtime or Chinese New Year. They didn't mention Chinese New Year, but it's usually springtime. And, to see the family and things like that. But however, when you look into how China, the way how it grows, where Americans is different. The Americans, once they finish work, they have an actual life. They have to pay bills. They have to do, whatever, ABC, etc., or taking a car for a mechanic or things, yada yada yada. You kind of understand like a real life. Go groceries by themselves. When you live in a dorm, it's already included with your employment contract and your salary contract. So you get deducted, and this is the remainder. The cost of living and things like that. You don't need to think about it. So, all you need to do just walk to that direction and go eat, go shit, go sleep, go have fun. And it's all being covered. That's why China is always will win this trade or the manufacturing. There's no other world. If other world follow the same principle, concept, they'll do the same thing as well. So that's why I said it's very unfair and misleading to many of the viewers out there to watch the film like this. Oh well, there's a certain bias on the film where Obama and Michelle Obama is part of, runs the production line. Of course, he has to be anti-Trump, so an anti-Trump thing, and making sure that locals will fail 100% sure miserably. But you know what? That's a narrative that you shouldn't brought it out. I know you don't have to own bias, but we're playing people lives in America, and people those who has been job loss or been living on the streets for that many years. Anywho, that's the video.